wheelchair around. And you've gotten so big, I just can't lift you anymore.
But it's so important to me.
What's so important, Adrian? You haven't been to see Santa since you were 6.
Well, it's sort of complicated. I know that this isn't the real Santa, and that Santa always symbolically represents the Christmas spirit. But with the ever-increasing media towards blame consumer capitalism, I'm just not sure what to make of the whole Christmas thing. And I was hoping that Santa, even a skinny one with the loudest fake beard, would help clear the confusion.
Honey, that's a pretty lofty conflict you've got brewing there.
I know. Sometimes I surprise myself.
Well, all I can do is try. Hey, Santa, you think there's some way we could get my daughter up to see you? I can't lift her anymore, and well, you didn't provide a wheelchair ramp.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not politically correct, but there's nothing I can do for you.
And why is that?
Well, you see, it's like this. The Santa Claus in the mall insurance policy does not allow me or my elves to lift, carry, or convey any child with any noticeable or obvious impairment, disability, or handicap for any reason whatsoever. Besides, the Santa Elf union contracts won't allow it because they have a lot of worker comp claims last year. So wimpy Santas, if you know what I mean. You know, it's all spelled out right here in the rules sign where it says, your special happy time with Santa. And according to Santa's watch, my shift's been over for about 5 minutes, so I know you'll understand.
Oh, I understand, all right, but I don't know if my daughter will. What I also know is you're just a Scrooge in a cheap Santa suit. I guess my child's happiness is not nearly as important to you as getting home to watch reruns of Gilligan's Island and drinking liberally spiked eggnog.
Look, lady, you have no idea what it takes to be Santa to 1,000 screaming brats every day for a month. So get off my back.
Wait just a minute there, Bum.
Talk to the mitten. I'm out of here. Bless your soul. Ho, ho, ho!
I heard
Christmas!
Oh, the reindeer bites you and your big fat Santa.
Mom!
Sorry, Adrian, but it does look like Santa's left the building.
Yeah, he wasn't very nice. But then again, neither were you, at least in the end there.
I suppose you're right. A bit more diplomacy would have been better. I'll see if I can have a more civilized word with him tomorrow. You never know. He may come around.
I guess that'll help. I'll try not to give my hopes up. I'm kind of tired of being disappointed.
What do you mean?
Well, things haven't gone very smoothly for quite a while now. I mean, I used to get around pretty well in my crutches. That was okay. But now I'm stuck in this stupid chair. And the kids at school, they used to at least pretend to include me in the games and stuff. But not anymore. And you keep saying that money's tight and you have to be careful with every single penny. And it's no secret that you haven't been very happy since Dad left. And I just keep thinking that all the problems that we have are because of me. That it's all my fault.
Now you listen to me, young lady. None of those things is your fault. It's certainly not your fault that arthritis keeps you in this chair. And if the other kids don't include you, well, that's just their selfishness showing through. And FYI, Missy, money is tight because your father left. Even with my job and his child support, we just don't make as much as we used to. Still, our expenses are about the same, so things are just a little tighter. That's all. We're really doing okay. You just have to be careful. And don't you think for a minute that you had anything to do with your father leaving. next year things will be better.
Yeah, I'm sure too. I'm just struggling with this stupid conflict about Christmas.
Hello, Mr. Delmonico.
Well, good evening, Nancy. Thought you left an hour ago.
I did. I went home to get Adrian because she wanted to see Santa.
Well, hey, Adrian, it's nice to see you again. So what did Santa have to... Wait a minute. Aren't you a little old to be talking to Santa?
Well, Mr. Delmonico, it's like this. You see, I'm not sure I get the whole Christmas thing, at least the true nature of the holiday. And I was hoping that Santa could help me understand it more.
Oh. Well, why don't we talk about it for a while? Maybe I can help.
We don't mean to keep you, Mr. Delmonico.
Oh, no, that's okay. Ever since Ms. Delmonico died, I've not much to go home to. And I was just getting ready to make a bank deposit and come back and start looking over the inventory some more. You know, just another day at the office.
I'm sorry about your wife. What will you be doing for Christmas this year?
Well, same as usual, it seems. My daughter and her family are flying in from Tampa for Christmas Eve. You know, she married a nice Jewish boy. He's a doctor, and they have he's got a nice practice going on in St. Pete.
I didn't think you were Jewish.
Oh, you're right, I'm not. No, I'm not. Well, I guess I'm not really anything. My parents used to go to the Orthodox Church very, very faithfully. On the other hand, I haven't been in a church except for weddings and funerals since I was about 13.
So you don't believe in God?
I didn't say that. I think that there's someone out there that's greater than all of us. But, you know, with everybody fighting over who's right and who's wrong, I just decided, what's the point? And, you know, I just decided, you know, if God wanted us to find him, I think he'd have made it easier. You know, maybe even drawn us a map so we know where to look.
So, what's Christmas to you?
Christmas to me is family. When Celeste, that was my wife, when Celeste was alive, we used to have a big tree right in the middle of the living room, and right at the top we had a lit star. She would make sure there were plenty of presents for everyone. And she made cookies for the mailman and for the delivery truck driver, pretty much everybody else in the neighborhood. And you know, every week from Thanksgiving to New Year's, we were off to a party over there or some other function over here. And some weeks we would go to 3 or 4.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, fun if you like that sort of thing. She always loved parties, and so we always went. I personally could stay at home and curl up by the fire and read a book. But I would have never denied her happiness, so we always went to things. And, you know, I'm not saying it was all bad. We met lots of influential and very interesting people. I guess I've probably met 6 city council members, and 3 mayors, and a couple of congressmen, and even a senator. That was kind of nice. And sometimes they would even come into the store for presents. Of course, that was before we moved to the big fancy mall.
Boy, it doesn't sound like you like the mall.
Oh, it's okay, I guess. There's certainly more traffic. But, you know, I miss the old downtown shopping district. You know, people would come in and visit me and say hello just because they wanted to. Not because they were in some kind of a big hurry on the way to the mega discount store. You know, I knew all of my customers by name. They knew me. I knew their kids. I knew when they had their first communion. I knew when they had, I knew about all of the proms. I knew when they were getting married. A lot of those kids were just like my own nieces and nephews. I felt like I had the biggest family in the world. And you know, that was nice, especially around Christmas, because some of them brought me presents.
That does sound nice.
So, then why did you move the store to here?
Oh, Adrian, we had to. Nobody shops downtown anymore. Do you know that my first week here at the mall, I had 3 times as many customers as I did my entire last month downtown. But even with all those customers, it's getting harder and harder to show a profit and make a living.
I thought the store was doing pretty well.
Oh, thanks to salespeople like you, Nancy, we're getting by. Your mother is always in the top 2 or 3 in sales every month, just like clockwork. I can always count on her. But, you know, most people don't know what it takes to keep a big store like this in the black. Merchandise and shipping are going up. Profit margins are going down. It's just getting harder and harder to show a profit. Of course, that wasn't a big deal before, but now with Celeste gone, my main focus is to make sure that my kids and grandkids have plenty when I'm gone. So now, my goal is to make enough money so that they're taken care of. Still, retail is a big, tough business to be in. And especially when you're trying to anticipate the ever-changing wants and whims of a very, very fickle public.
Gosh, I didn't know things were so bad. I'll just have to work harder.
I have no complaints about your work, Nancy. You know, if all of my workers worked as hard as you do, I could just sit in my office and grow fat. Or fatter. But you know, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. Really, I like the challenge. Still, as I get older, sometimes I like to stop and sniff the roses. You know, every now and again.
I think I know what you mean. Well, we shouldn't keep you any longer.
Thank you, Mrs. Amahl, for sharing your perspective on this Christmas thing. I'm not sure I get it yet, but thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, you take your mom home and make sure that she gets plenty of rest. Tomorrow, we've got to do a spot inventory check, so we're going to be here later than usual.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Oh, Nancy, do you suppose the Safeway would have a goose? My daughter has asked me to pick one up, and she better be cooking it because I don't know a goose from a barbecued owl.
Well, a goose is unusual, and they probably have one. But I'd call first if I were you, just to be sure.
Thanks, that's a good idea. Well, good night, you two.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Well, looks like just another evening in paradise. Sure, we'll be glad when we get back to regular hours next week, though.
Why is that, Jeremy? Are we crimping your style here? We got a hot date tonight?
I think you know me better than that.
I know, it's just fun to tease. Besides, I don't know about you, but the extra hours sure doesn't hurt my bank account any.
Yeah, surplus cash sure does help ease the pain of my shattered love life.
Oh, brother. You know, you're not fooling anyone, right? Hey, look. Santa's chair. I'll play Santa, and you can tell me everything you have on your Christmas list. Come on, little boy, Santa's waiting.
I don't know.
I haven't believed in Santa Claus for a long time. Besides, I don't want to squish you.
I can take it. Hurry up. Come on, give it my turn.
You're sure I won't crush you?
Okay, little boy. Have you been naughty or nice this year?
Check your list, Santa. I've tried to be nice. Besides, there's really not all that much I want this year. What I would like is enough cash to make good on my church building project pledge. Then again, my job pretty much takes care of that. I guess continued good health for friends and family. Not sure how you can affect that. See what you can do. A new cell phone for this one that keeps crapping out on me. Maybe new books.
That's it?
Yeah, well, there is one more thing, but it's a little embarrassing to talk about. And it's been on my list for several years, so you should already know what it is. Santa.
No. It doesn't work that way. You have to tell Santa what you want, so Santa can deliver. So come on, mess up. What is it?
Well, okay, but remember, you asked. I'd like to meet the girl of my dreams.
So what you're saying, Santa's a dating service now? I'm sure I could find an oversized Barbie somewhere in my workshop.
I told you it was embarrassing. Now you're just making fun of me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I promise not to make fun. Tell me about this girl of your dreams.
No, you're just gonna tease me.
I won't, I promise. I really want to know.
Well, she shouldn't be that hard to find. Or, in your case, Bill. She has to be highly intelligent, have a nice sense of humor, care about others. She has to be able to handle herself with boys, no matter what. And it wouldn't hurt
Yep, details. Come on. Santa can't produce without details.
It wouldn't hurt if she was drop dead gorgeous with a figure to match. And best for last, she has to be a committed, Bible-believing Christian.
Now, was that so hard?
Uh-huh.
I'll see what I can do. My turn. Okay.
Well, ho, Victoria. Since you've been rather naughty this year, what do you think Santa should bring you? A lump of coal or a bag of sand?
A bag of sand. Really? Santa doesn't bring sand.
I've never been Santa before. I'm making this up as I go.
Okay, Santa newbie. Here's where you ask me what do I want for Christmas.
What would you like for Christmas, little girl?
All I want for Christmas is world peace. And what is so funny about world peace?
It's just a bumper sticker I saw the other day. It says, visualize world peace.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, but now it's time to get serious. And you might want pencil and paper, because this might take a while. First of all, I'd like a new car, because the one I'm driving right now is a total piece of, well, let's just say that it's on its last wheels. But the new Mercedes-Benz convertible in bright red would be really sweet. Okay, next I've had my eye on a set of pearls, the double strand with the matching earrings. At Ray's Jewelers just down the hall. And then, Delmonico's has the cutest little ankle boots in 5 colors. Size 6 would fit me nicely. And then I've been looking at the sporting goods store. They have the cutest little ski suit, perfect for the ski season. And then Jenny's Women's Wear has the cutest little black dress. But what's really most important is that my friend Jeremy get everything on his list.
Now, hang on a second, little girl. This is a pretty long list. How am I supposed to fit all that in my sleigh?
Well, you know, Santa, you can always make a special trip to mine. And I'll even have milk and cookies for you.
You know, I don't think Mrs. Claus would approve.
You just said there wasn't a Mrs. Claus and that you were looking for her. And how did you describe her? Intelligent, handles herself with boys, no matter what. Cares about others, You know, it's kind of like looking in the mirror. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm drop dead gorgeous, nor do I have the body to match, but, you know, I'm not chopped liver either. Wouldn't you agree, Santa?
Yes, Mickey. You are all that and more.
So what's the problem, Jeremy?
It's the last part I mentioned, that the woman of my dreams is a strong Christian. I wouldn't ask you to change your belief structure for a shot at romance. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nothing would please me more than to see you come to know me, but for the right reasons.
I see. And I'll try to understand, which I don't at all at the moment. But you know what? Fine. Let's just go back to work. I'll go to the south corridor, you go north.
Vicky, I didn't mean that.
No, it's okay. It's my fault. I started it. It's the story of my life. Every time I meet a really great guy, I'm to this or I'm not enough that. And you know what, Jeremy? You're a really great guy. You're really caring and you're really sweet. And I couldn't help but just get caught up for just a moment. But maybe, just maybe you were the one. Okay. My love life is a total disaster. I mean, my last boyfriend was a total jerk. Oh, I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
No, it's okay. We should get back to the breakfast. Why don't we meet back here in an hour and we'll talk some more, okay?
Sure.
Hey, Santa, can I talk to you for a second?
Oh, it's you again. What do you want?
Well, I wanted to apologize for getting huffy with you last night.
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
I thought I just did.
No, you didn't.
Okay. I'm sorry, Santa, for getting huffy with you last night.
Anything else?
Well, yeah, there is. I really wanted my daughter to be able to come and talk with you.
Oh. Right, you can still bring her by, but I can't get her up there.
Well, really, that's okay because she really does just want to talk to you.
Oh. All right.
Well, let me explain a little bit about the situation with her. You see, she suffers from rheumatoid arthritis and can no longer walk, not even with crutches. I've been trying to make sure she doesn't become bitter. So, as an object lesson, I found her a volunteer position at the Good Shepherd Daycare Center.
I've never heard of that.
It's at the end of the West Corridor, near the food court.
Oh, well, maybe I just never noticed it.
Anyway, I wanted her to be able to give to those who have less than we do, so she helps with the crafts and games for the 5- and 6-year-olds. Now, as it turns out, their funding is being cut back so far, they're having to drop all of their educational programs, and they may even have to cut back on the meals they provide for the kids and their families.
I still don't see what this has to do with me.
Well, with all of this and the personal struggles our family has been through, Adrian, that's my daughter, has become disillusioned with Christmas. be able to give her a new perspective. That's all.
That's all? I'm supposed to reinvent Christmas for your daughter? Where's that supposed to come from? I'm a mall Santa. I make $8.50 an hour. And I'm somehow gifted with the ability to solve the holiday crisis for some crippled kid? I don't think so. Find somebody else.
Who might you suggest? You're supposed to be Christmas for kids.
Oh, don't lay that one on me. Jolly old Saint Nick is Christmas. I don't even know if I believe in Christmas. It's all about the stuff. You should know that. They don't pay me enough to come up with some fabricating thing for kids that feel good about their holidays. Right now, I listen to their greedy wish lists, pose for pictures, and hand out candy canes. That's it. Anything else? It's not my job description.
All right, Scrooge across. Have it your way. But I really do hope a reindeer bites you on the butt. This time, I mean it. Man,
Couldn't help but overhear your discussion there, Sam.
You want some of this too, Rambo?
Oh no, just making sure you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. She just really pushes my buttons, if you know what I mean. I'm just a guy trying to put a meal on the table and pay the mortgage. I'm not the savior of the universe.
You got that right.
I mean, come on, how am I supposed to help some handicapped kid figure out what Christmas is all about when I don't even know myself? Right now, it's bratty kids, cheap keepsake photos, and crappy candy canes.
I heard that part. Nah, surely it's not that bad.
Don't get me wrong. I'm all about family. Tradition and giving, it's great. But when these little brats crawl up into my lap with 6-page spreadsheets of stuff they're not even going to play with 2 weeks after Christmas, it just makes me want to hurl. I remember this little monster crawled up into my lap. I thought he was going to pee on me. And he said, Santa, I'm going to believe in you just one more year so you will be allowed to bring me a PlayStation. The little monster had the audacity to even tell me where I can get the cheapest price. I pinched his butt so hard he was crying while they took the photo. Raising a kid like that, his mother deserved a crappy photo.
You're sounding more and more cynical by the minute. Doesn't Christmas mean anything more than this to you?
Not this year. See, I got laid off in May, and I haven't had a decent interview since. Do you know what it's like going from a 6-figure income to being a Rent-A-Claus? I mean, my supervisor can barely even shave, and he's telling me how to do my job. And you're telling me I'm cynical? Give me a break.
Sounds like things are tough.
Yeah, you don't even know the half of it. A couple weeks ago, my 16-year-old comes home and says, apparently there's been another immaculate conception. Well, I'm not buying it. Top it all off, the bank is going to foreclose on our house.
Man, sounds like things are tough. You know Santa.
Rob,
Rob?
that's my name.
Rob what?
I'd rather not say.
Why not? Were you a spy or in the witness protection program or something?
No, nothing like that. Although that would be kind of cool. But no, it's nothing like that. It's just kind of embarrassing.
How bad could it be? I'm Jeremy Spiegel, by the way.
Okay. Rob Hood.
See, what's so bad about Robert Hood?
Oh, it's not Robert. It's Robin. I've never forgiven my parents for that. Can you imagine the kind of teasing I got as a kid?
Kids can be pretty mean.
Oh, not just kids. I had a teacher that would open up most of the days with some snide remark like, hey, Robin, who you been stealing from today? Or, hey, Robin, I'm poor and I need a new car. Oh, I wish I was the real Robin Hood, because I'd take an arrow and I'd shoot it right up his thumb. Well, anyway, he eventually got fired. Best day of my 3rd grade year.
Get the picture. Well, you know, Rob, I believe in the power of prayer, especially when times are tough. I'd be willing to pray with you about all this stuff going on in your life.
You know, Jeremy, I'm really not that kind of a religious kind of guy.
Fair enough. So for the time being, I'll just pray for you. But the offer still stands anytime.
Okay, I guess so. Jeremy, what can Santa bring you for Christmas?
Same thing as every year, Santa. The girl of my dreams.
Okay.
Jeremy, we have a situation.
Yeah, what's up?
Top level of the parking garage, there's been some vandalism.
What happened?
I don't know, there's some snow spray across some of the windshields, but some of them have had their valve stems loosened and have flat tires. Management wants you up there for crowd control and assess the damage. I'll take care of things down here.
Yeah, I'll give John at the auto center a call. We'll get some new valve stems and a compressor. We'll get them on their way as soon as possible.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you shopping with Delmonico's, Mr. Brewer.
Well, Mr. Delmonico, I am not sure that I have much choice anymore. It seems that yours is the only decent shop left in town. Ever since my daughter and her family moved here from Beverly Hills, I have great difficulty finding suitable gifts for her and my grandchildren.
Well, I'm glad you were able to find suitable gifts for your family.
Yes, well, after looking at this bill, I am quite sure that you are. So, Mr. Delmonico, please to tell me something.
Yes.
What has happened to Christmas in America?
What do you mean?
Well, many years ago, when I first started coming to this country, things were much simpler. Christmas centered around the child in the manger, the Holy Family, angels, shepherds, and kings. And Santa Claus, he was a saintly man who gave necessary things and perhaps a simple treat to children in need. Now it seems that all of these things are completely overlooked in favor of endless piles of useless trinkets.
Well, I guess you're right. Things have shifted much more to the commercial side. You know, people today want to show their love and appreciation by the giving of material things.
But does it not seem odd to you that in America, the child of Christmas has become nearly nothing in the process? You know, my granddaughter tells me that they no longer have Christmas holiday. It is now called winter break. And the children can no longer sing traditional carols in the school pageant. Instead, they are forced to sing songs like Jingly Bells and Frosty the Snow Person, lest someone become offended by the mere mention of the name Jesus. And even the Christian children are forbidden to say Merry Christmas. Only at the holidays is acceptable. You know, it is as if Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and winter solstice and what else have become one great jumbled up mess. Are none of your traditions sacred to you anymore?
Not my doing. I don't think I have an answer for that question.
But it does appear to me that you too have fallen prey to this. Now, Mr. Delmonico, your store is very festively decorated with snowflakes and glittering trees, but no angels and no crosses. Are you to understand what I am saying?
Yes. Maybe.
I don't mean to eavesdrop, but maybe I can help you understand.
Yes, please to speak now.
Okay. Well, here in America, we strive to make sure everyone feels included in all things. See, in our schools, we teach our kids to tolerate others and their religions. And by doing that, no one has to feel bad about their heritage or, where they come from. And then, we believe that no one should feel offended by what other people believe. And so we all become one in spirit, and that just creates a better society for all.
Okay, but please do tell me, how are the children to learn to be tolerant of others when the others are forbidden to show or even speak of the traditions and customs that make them different? And what about the cultural and religious differences that define each individual within his family and his neighborhood and even within society? Do these things count for nothing?
Well, I'm sure they count for something, just not everywhere. See, we live in a society that's free of religious persecution. So the separation of church and state requires that our government show no favoritism toward religious matters. And so that's why everywhere you go, all religions are equally represented everywhere.
Okay, please forgive me, but I think there are two problems with what you have just said. First, there is great confusion around the phrase separation of church and state. Now, it is my understanding that this phrase does not even appear in your constitution, yet many Americans act as if it does. And second, by allowing anything at all to be part of your, how you say, inclusion, you lose the distinction of each individual within the everything. And all becomes nothing. It's very sad to me that you have lost your heritage. Mr. Delmonico, please to help me to get these things to my car.
Of course, Mr. Correa. I'll be glad.
Thank you. Thank you. And very lovely to speak with you on this day.
Wow. Whew. Is she right? Are we really losing our heritage? We're putting all of you guys together in one place? Do we really lose what's most different and special about each one? Because you tell me that Messiah is yet to come and that he's the hope of my future. And you say that my salvation comes from Allah and obedience, yet we just all struggle to get along with one another. And then you say that there is no Messiah, no God at all. And I'm pretty sure that's not true. And then there's you, baby Jesus. You claim to be the Messiah. The one true God, the Savior to all. But who can that be? How can any of you be true?
Oh, Victoria,
Yes, Mr. Delmonico.
Jeremy asked me to send you down to the garage. Apparently there's been a lot more damage to cars than we originally
Oh,
thought.
no.
So he's going to need more incident before it starts.
Thank you. I'll get right on it.
Okay.
incorporated just as soon as I get Adrian from the center.
Oh, that'll be fine, Nancy. It's not in a big hurry. It'll still be here when we get back.
All right.
What is this? Hello, Jeremy. It's Dominic Delmonico. Yes, very busy. Yeah. Listen, Jeremy, the reason I'm calling is there's been some vandalism in front of my store. No, not the store itself. Looks like someone has trashed the nativity in the holiday display. Yeah, Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell. There are pieces everywhere. I'm not sure. Well, I guess they could all be here, maybe. You're coming right up? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to start putting things back. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Who would do something like this? This just makes me so angry.
Good evening, Dominic. You didn't happen to see who did this, did you?
No, I did not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's your job to keep an eye on things around here. Jeremy, this is ridiculous. You know, today we had the nativity, tomorrow my store, my employees. Aren't you supposed to protect us from this sort of thing?
Just a minute, Mr. Delmonico. We are doing our job.
It's okay, Vicky. Dominic has a right to be upset. Those other people needed our help just as much, but we weren't here to take care of the situation. We still let him down. I'm sorry, Dominic. We'll certainly try to be more vigilant in the future. After we get this cleaned up, I'll go check the video feed and we'll see if we can determine who did this.
Well, that's better. Jeremy, I'm sorry I blew up at you. This sort of thing just makes me so angry. Who would do something like this?
I don't know.
What is this? It looks filthy.
That appears to be a shepherd. You know, not a whole lot of people know much about shepherds. And more often than not, they really were quite smelly and dirty. Well, I mean, they spent 24 hours a day with their sheep. It's no wonder they were a mess. But the sheep, you know, they're not very smart. They depended on the shepherds for everything. To take them to the green pastures, to the watering holes. Without the shepherd, they literally just lay down and die. Now, on that first Christmas, the Bible tells us that shepherds, stinky, smelly ones that were scorned by decent people, were the first to witness the coming Messiah. On this night of miracles, an angel appeared and told them where to look for and where to find the baby. So off they went in search of Emmanuel, God with us.
So they just left their sheep and went looking for this baby Jesus?
Probably not. Well, you can see the sheep were so vulnerable that if they left them for even a short while, they met risk from predators. So most likely, can you see this? A bunch of ragtag shepherds leading hundreds of sheep right into the middle of the town of Bethlehem. I could just hear the townsfolk waking up going, "Oh man, what's that smell?"
That sounds nasty.
I bet it was. Now, following the angel's instructions, the shepherds found the baby in a manger in a stable. For, as the story goes, there was no room for them at the inn.
So does that mean they were poor? All they could afford was a stable?
Probably not. Well, you see, at that time, the government required every man to travel to his hometown for a census and a special tax.
Oh, now, yeah, that sounds like the government.
Yes, it does. And while Joseph probably could have afforded a nice room, there were so many travelers in town. There just weren't any rooms left. The only place they could stay was out back in the stable.
And a stable like that is certainly not the Ritz.
And chances are it wasn't even this nice. Well, you see, wood was so precious back then, and they didn't make buildings out of it, much less buildings for animals. More likely, it was just a hollowed-out cave on a hillside out back, just a space big enough to get a few animals out of the weather for the night.
This is where God let his son be born?
Well, not let. Chose.
What do you mean chose? Who would choose such a place?
Well, when you read the Old Testament, you see that the coming Messiah is a very special child. Hundreds of prophecies foretell who he is and how he will come. God was very aware of this special child. It wasn't by accident that Mary and Joseph arrived after the hotels were full. He orchestrated the events exactly as he wanted them.
But Jeremy, it just seems so cruel to have the child born among the animals.
Yeah, to us it does seem kind of cold and heartless, but God has his reasons for everything. You know, even today, when things seem dark and crazy, it's often God just trying to get our attention.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that God uses our everyday circumstances just to see if we're listening?
Yeah, sometimes he does.
That's weird. You know, you said that this was a night of miracles, plural. And you talked about angels appearing. I'm not sure that I understand all of that, but what were other miracles?
Well, the fact that Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem at all was a miracle. You see, they lived a very long way from that little town. But the Bible foretold that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Again, this was no accident. It was a miracle. Another is that the Messiah was supposed to be at the house of King David. Now, both Mary and Joseph traced their lineage back to King David. And the chances of this happening are very slim. And even though Joseph wasn't Jesus' biological father, the fact that both parents' ancestry fulfills the prophecy is a miracle.
What do you mean Joseph wasn't Jesus' real father?
Well, you see, according to Scripture, Mary was a virgin. The Holy Spirit came upon her and created a child within her womb. The virgin birth is another of the miracles.
I still don't get it.
I'll explain that to you later.
In addition to that, even the heavens showed God's miracles. Now, whether the coming together of several celestial bodies or the formation of a new, very bright star, the way to the manger was lit by a bright heavenly light. The shepherds followed this, as did the Magi.
The Magi meaning these guys?
Yeah. Although they weren't actually there on that first night.
Well, wait a minute. All of the nativities show that the Magi were there. I thought that they followed the star and arrived that same night.
You know, and a lot of people do think that. And it would have been another miracle if that had happened. But the scriptures seem to indicate that the wise men saw the formation of the star and then began their journey, arriving many months or possibly even a couple of years later. And it was during that time that God's divine protection allowed Jesus to survive King Herod's wrath.
I remember something about Herod killing all of the children.
Yeah.
That's close. He ordered the death of all male children, age 2 and younger. He wanted to eliminate the child king before it was a threat to his own power. But God told Joseph in a dream to take baby Jesus to Egypt, which he did.
Until the coast was clear, right?
Exactly. Until the coast was clear. Once King Herod died, they could go back to Israel. You know, this first night really was a night of miracles. Do you remember that line from the song of the little town of Bethlehem? The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus came as he did. Now, how he did is really more of the Easter story.
I think we're missing a baby Jesus in here.
Oh,
I see Mary and Joseph, and there's a donkey and a sheep, some shepherds and the wise men who aren't even supposed to be here yet.
I don't see the Peter.
No baby.
Jesus from the Nativity?
I don't know, but I've heard it's becoming an epidemic. One lady in Wisconsin has had her baby Jesus stolen on Christmas Eve 5 years in counting, like clockwork. In 1 year, she even replaced baby Jesus with a bag of dog food. She stole that too. Some churches are going to such extent that they're installing video camera systems and GPS tracking devices in order to catch thieves.
What is the world coming to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just don't believe people anymore.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll go take a look at the surveillance tapes and we'll see if we can determine who this was.
Oh, okay.
But with everything happening tonight, I think we all better be extra cautious. And Victoria, we need to get back to our rounds.
I got the board for it.
All right, let's go.
Well, I'll get back to work on the inventory, Mr. Delano.
Oh, thanks, Nancy. This whole incident's just got me way too upset. Just go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Why don't you go on ahead and go home too? It's not that urgent, and it'll keep it to the morning.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Just pick up, just lock up after you get your stuff.
Okay, will do.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Adrian.
Good night.
I just need to get my coat, honey. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, I'll be okay. All right. So, baby Jesus, wherever you are, you're supposed to be the miracle child, the coming Messiah, the Son of God. So why aren't you taking better care of us today? And if you can see, well, things they're a mess. And I bet you could fix it if you wanted to, but you're not even here. What is that?
You ready to go, Adrian?
Yeah, sure, Mom. Can you come here a sec? There's something under the building.
What are you trying to get?
See that paper bag?
Oh, yes, so there is. Wonder what it's doing here.
What is it?
Whoa,
Who does it belong to?
it's full of money. I don't know, it's not marked. Doesn't have anything that identifies it.
Money? Really?
Really, and it looks like several $1,000s.
Well, do you think it's like a gift from God? I mean, it was in his house.
I don't know, but it sure seems like a gift from somebody, and we sure could use it right now.
Merry Christmas to us!
Yes.
Wait, what if it's a test?
Oh, what?
A test, you know, to see if we're worthy enough. On one hand, you could take it and no one would know, and something bad might happen. On the other hand, we could find whose it is and maybe give it back to them. Maybe it's an old lady who's saving up her groceries or cat food, and she'd be so happy to give it back that she'd give us a huge reward.
Adrian, where did you get this stuff?
It's on TV all the time.
Well, gift or test, we're not going to do anything about it tonight. Let's just sleep on it and see what tomorrow brings. Ready to go home?
Yeah, sure. Only if we're gonna have some eggnog.
That sounds good to me.
What moron schedules the same Santa for the extended early hours after suffering through the the late extended night hours the night before? Oh, that's right. My boss, Spunky the Wonder Dweeb. What a dork. Good morning, Dominic. Dominic. Good morning.
Oh, sorry, Rob. I'm a little distracted this morning.
Yeah, I can tell. Doesn't look like you've had much sleep either. What's going on?
Oh, I had a terrible night. Last night when I was leaving to make a bank deposit, I noticed that the Tuesday was all messed up, so I called security and we worked on it and tried to set it up. And I guess I left a deposit here when I went home. And I didn't think about it until I got into my driveway. And so I hurried back here. I looked all over the courtyard. I looked all over my store. Anywhere it could have been. It's just gone.
Man, it's terrible. Not that it's any of my business, but was it a lot of money?
Well, some people may not think so, but to me, $8,400, yes, is a lot of money. And it was all cash. And I always take the cash every day, deposit it just in case, and then I'll leave the rest of it to my accounting staff.
Man, that stinks, and especially right before Christmas.
Yeah, you're right. Well, look, I gotta go. I'm gonna check the store one more time. And if you happen to see a paper bag full of money, let me know.
You betcha. I'll keep a lookout for that. Oh, look who it is, the producer of When Reindeer Attack.
Good morning, Scrooge Claus. I don't think even you could ruin my good mood today.
I guess it's good to see somebody at least happy this morning.
Bit of a grumpus, are we today?
A bit. I hate having to open up after closing the night before. There's not enough coffee in the world to keep me chipper. At least my day is better than your boss's, though.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
I don't think you'd want me to tell you, but apparently last night you lost a bunch of cash. A big deposit.
Really? Did he happen to say how much?
Yeah, he did, but don't let him know I told you. $8,400.
I told you it was a test.
Wait. What's that about?
Never you mind. Look, Santa, last chance to make a kid's Christmas.
I guess I have been a bit of a jerk. Okay, if you can get her up here, we'll have a little chat.
Okay, great. Hey, Jeremy, can you help me get Adrian up to see Santa?
Sure, I'd be glad to help.
She needs to have a chat with him, and well, I need to see Mr. Delmonico.
Okay. Hey, Santa, come give me a hand.
All right. Don't tell the union boss.
You got it. I got you.
Okay. All right.
All right, you good?
Yeah, I think I'll be okay.
All right, I'll hang around and help get you down with the crew.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy.
You go do what you need to do. I'll keep an eye on you.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes, hon. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Unless this here Santa decides to push me off this platform, I'll be good.
Don't tempt me, kid. Just kidding. So, Adrian, your mom tells me we need to have a little chat.
Yes, we sure do.
Why do I think that this is something a lot more than just a simple wish list?
Well, I have one of those, but this is definitely more than just presents.
Okay, tell me what's on your mind.
Well, I think my Christmas quandary started...
Wait. Christmas quandary?
Sorry, just showing off a bit. I know, precocious. Anyway, my Christmas quandary started about the time my mom started taking me to the daycare center to help out with the little kids. You see, the center's open to everyone. Some of the kids' parents work at the mall, and some come from the neighborhood. Few come from pretty wealthy families, but most have nearly nothing. But here's what I've noticed. The rich kids are sometimes really bratty, and sometimes mean to the poor kids. But the poor kids are still happy. They don't care that they don't have all the nice stuff that the others do.
And this surprises you?
A little, and it's the rich kids that always want more. More juice, more cookies, more toys. And this one kid, Brian, oh my lord, he's the worst. He always wants whatever the other kids have. But he doesn't really want it. He just doesn't want them to have it.
Yeah, I know that. I pitched one on the rear one time.
stuff just makes you want more stuff.
So you're saying that materialism breeds materialism and not happiness.
Exactly, but what's on TV non-stop? Commercial after commercial, endlessly, buy, buy, buy. And what do the commercials say? You need this or you're not cool. Buy this and you'll get the girl. Buy that and your wife will really love you. Buy a George Foreman grill and you'll be instantly skinny.
You seem really skeptical by these messages.
I am. The poor kids don't have any of that stuff. But TV says that stuff at Christmas is everything. The more the better. But then Mr. Delmonico the other night said that Christmas was about family. And then Jeremy said that Christmas was about a bunch of miracles about Jesus. And then there's you. Or at least the Western mythology surrounding Santa Claus with a myriad of possible explanations and a plethora of interpretations, the endless ramifications leave you with a conundrum.
Myriad, plethora, conundrum.
Sorry, just showing off.
I can see that. Here's the question I have for you. What do you want Christmas to be about?
I haven't really thought about it like that. Let's see. What do I want Christmas to be about? Well, I do like the part about family. But with my dad gone, it's a lot harder than it used to be. And I also like the part about happiness. But not because of the presents. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like presents just as much as the next kid. But presents don't make me happy. And I think starting in November, we should leave our TVs turned off.
Wow, that's really wise. But what about me?
I'm not really sure about you yet. I mean, I'm not sure that you live at the North Pole and make toys. But I still like you being the symbol for Christmas, and all that's good. You can stay.
Thank you. Well, what about the Jesus part?
That's where I'm still really confused.
You know, me too. You know, you said you had a wish list. Since we're here, give it to me.
Okay, sure. It's not very long. First, I like a little bit of peace on Earth. I mean, there's so many wars going on, and a little bit of peace would be nice.
Yes, it would. But I'm not sure Santa can make that happen.
Okay. And then second, my mom needs to make a really hard decision, and I'd like a little bit of wisdom from her, so she can make the right choice.
Well, Santa's not really good at making immaterial things happen. But I'll see what I can do.
And then third, the Good Shepherd's Daycare Center needs a lot of money and fast. So I'd like a big check for them.
Wow, these are really grown-up wish lists. Don't you want anything for yourself?
Not really. My mom already got me a lot of presents and put them under the tree for me. But why don't you take my presents and give them to the poor kids instead? I mean, I don't really need them.
Well, it looks like you two are getting along splendidly.
Your daughter is wise beyond her years. We had a great time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Hey, Jeremy,
Bet.
give me a hand.
Absolutely.
Did you get things settled, Adrian?
Yeah, I'm still not sure about the whole Christmas thing yet.
Well, if I can help, let me know.
Okay.
Wow.
Nancy, why won't you let me give you something?
You don't need to reward me for doing what's right. That money was yours. Now it's back with its rightful owner. I'm just glad I found it and could get it back to you.
Yes, well, you can expect a nice bonus on your next check.
Don't even think about it.
What?
I'm keeping.
Oh, you're impossible.
I'm pretty sure I would have kept the
It's another conundrum, right, Adrian?
Not really. But I'm really proud of you, Mom. You did the right thing.
Thanks, sweetheart. I know it was the right thing to do. Uh-oh. Let's let's get you to the center.
And the rest of us better get ready for another day in paradise.
You call this paradise?
Thank you, Mr. Delmonico, for allowing me to exchange this sweater. Oh, children will be so fickle. On Monday, my granddaughter's favorite color is purple, and today it is pink. Tomorrow, who knows?
Well, yeah, I'm always happy to serve my favorite customer,
I'm so glad we caught you, Mr. Delmonico. Adrian wanted to see you before we went home.
Oh, well, it's good to see you, Adrian. What is it?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your perspective. It really kind of helped me, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. But why so sad on Christmas Eve?
Well, they're saying that they're going to have to close the shelter, the center down, and unless they give it enough money, it's going to be gone before the 31st.
Oh, your mother was telling me about that. How much the neighborhood depends on them. They have an educational program and a meal program.
It would be such a waste if they couldn't continue. Some of those families rely on the center just to get by, some of them every week.
Please do excuse me. Please to tell me why there is no more money to run this center.
Well, with the weakening economy, funding for these types of programs just isn't being renewed for next year.
I am very sorry to hear this.
Good news! I found Jesus.
Oh, that's not news, Jeremy. Everybody knows you found Jesus.
Not that Jesus. This one, the baby Jesus from the Nativity.
Where was he?
Oh, he was out back in the dumpster by the loading docks. Oh, apparently the thief didn't want the burden of the stolen Savior, so they left him in the trash.
There is far too much of this happening around here.
That seems so.
Yes.
Santa, you seem in a pretty good mood today.
Well, yes. No. I'm conflicted. See, Spunky the Wonder Chip thought I did a really good job at being the mall Santa and gave me a nice little bonus, so I have a little bit of a buffer before the wolves come knocking at my door again.
Dominic, you seem pretty chipper as well.
Yes, well, the final numbers are not in, but it looks like we've had a better than average year. Actually, much better.
Good. The only one who looks unhappy is Adrian.
They may have to close the center.
Adrian, do you remember the other night when we talked about miracles and hope?
Yeah, I remember.
Let me tell you a little more of the story, and we'll see if things can become a little more clear. On that first Christmas night, Jesus was born to a virgin mother and a very understanding father. Simple shepherds, the lowliest men in society, were the first to visit him. And Magi came along later to worship the time. That's about all we hear for a little while. Well, we see Jesus going about his father's business in the temple in his youth. But we have to wait till he's about 30 for his real ministry to begin.
Now, excuse me, Mr. Security Guard. Why do you think that there's so little written about this period in history?
Well, I think he was being prepared to meet the world, and the world was being ready to confront its Savior. Now, what does he do? Age 30. Does he take out a full-page ad in the Jerusalem Times saying, "Your king is finally here"? No. He gathers a small group of people to himself. Now, are these the wealthy and influential, the religious and leaders and political leaders of the time? No. They're just regular guys. The lowliest of society. Sinners, if you will. Even a tax collector.
Tax collector? That's pretty low.
Yes, it is. But for 3 years, he draws people to himself. Now, he speaks about the kingdom of heaven, but he does so in parables and riddles. Not exactly what the people expected. He performs miracles. He gives comfort to the hurting. He heals the sick. And he forgives the most grievous sins. And along the way, he angers the religious leaders to the point that they seek to kill him.
I am not understanding. Why would doing good works anger the Jewish leaders?
Well, that's an excellent question. They felt he was a threat to the power of the people. See, every day, more and more people were leaving the established religion to follow Jesus. They felt powerless to stop him. They hated him for it.
Wasn't he a good man, though?
He was the best man ever. That's what irked them so much. Because you see, while he was man, he was also God. And not once during his entire life did he sin. Not even when he was angry, or putting the religious leaders in their place. And that is why his sacrifice was acceptable to the Father.
What sacrifice?
You've seen pictures of Christ on the cross, right?
Oh, yes, they're everywhere. He died there, didn't he?
Yes, he did. But that's not the end of the story. You see, in the same way that God orchestrated all the events of Jesus' birth, God also planned out each detail of Jesus' death. His betrayal by Judas, his trial before Pontius Pilate, his carrying his cross to Calvary, his crucifixion, even his death on the cross were all events that were foretold hundreds of years before they happened. Just like the prophecies about his birth. And why?
I was about to ask that question.
Me too. Because God didn't want them, the people of Jesus' day, or us, to miss him. This was his supreme act of love for his people. It's like he laid it out all ahead of time. He said, this will be the coming of my son. He'll have these kind of parents. He'll be hated by the leaders of his day. And he'll die like this. And this is why. Because I love you. You see, the Bible teaches us that God loves the sin, but hates the sin. He wants us to live with him eternally, but we're separated from him by our own failures. This poses a problem for a loving God. So what could he do?
He sent his son.
Exactly. He sent Jesus, the only person to live ever without sin. And what did Jesus do? He died in our place. He willingly went to his death so that we wouldn't have to. He bore our sins on the cross, and he died there.
That is very, very sad. And it was a man who was sent to his death.
It would be tragic if that were the end of the story.
There's more?
Yes, there is. You see, this is why the miracles of Christmas are nothing without the hope of Easter. What began with the baby in the manger was fulfilled by Christ on the cross. Almost. You see, when he died, they took him down and they put him in a tomb and sealed it because he really was dead. 3 days later, the Father gave him back his life and Jesus rose from the grave, alive. It's as if the Father looked on him and said, I accept the sacrifice that sinless Jesus made for every human sinner. That's why he's alive today. And now we can know the Father because the penalty for our sin has been paid.
That's a lot to handle.
Yes, it is.
So we don't have to do anything?
Sounds like God pretty much did it all, doesn't it? And actually, there's really only one thing each of us has to do for the story to have a happy ending.
Why do I suspect that this has something to do with money?
Not this time. The only thing each of us has to do is believe on Jesus' sacrifice and his resurrection and accept the gift of eternal life with the God who created us and loves us more than anything in the world. Now, I want to ask each of you a very personal question. And if you can honestly answer yes, your lives will be changed drastically, forever. Here's the question. Do you believe that the baby of Christmas became the Christ of Easter and died in your place for your sin so you could have eternal life? Dominic, how about you?
Strangely enough, I do. I really do.
Nancy?
For the first time, it all makes sense, and yes, I do too.
Mr. Porter?
What you are saying here today, it goes against everything I was ever taught. In my heart of hearts, I cannot deny it.
Rob? Are you sure there's no hidden surcharges or anything else I have to do with selling my firstborn or anything like that to make this whole thing work?
It's a free gift for any and all who will take it.
Count me in.
Adrian?
It just seems right. I can see why people say Jesus is the reason for the season. Without him, none of it makes sense.
This is so great. We're all now members of the family of God. A whole bunch of really cool things happen to each of you. And if I were to tell you about all of them, we'd be here till New Year's Eve. Suffice it to say, I think this Christmas will be very special for all of us.
Don't forget about me.
Wow, Victoria, you look amazing. Hubba, hubba.
Well, Jeremy, I was coming to give you a present when I heard you explain the Christmas story.
So is that for me?
Well, it was, except it doesn't really seem so appropriate anymore.
Why?
Well, let me show you. Well, see, I came here tonight to give you my heart and to tell you that I love you. But I gave my heart to Jesus tonight, so I think this really belongs to him. I hope you're not disappointed.
How can I be disappointed? This is the very best thing I could have asked for.
Now, I don't know about everybody else, but I feel like I need to celebrate. By doing something outside myself. And I've been worried about me and mine for so long. I don't even know of a good charity.
I know one. The Good Shepherd's Daycare Center. They need a lot of money.
That's right, you were telling me. Hey, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that reward money that you wouldn't take, and I'll give it to the center.
Yes, this is a lovely idea. Oh, I too would like to help. Oh my. Do you think they would take an out-of-country check?
I think they would take it off the planet check if they wanted to.
You know, I think the future is just turning out pretty good. I have a piece about the future. I think I'm going to have to pass on that little bonus I got this morning, if you know what I mean, Adrian.
Hey, Mom. Is there anything that we can do?
I'm sorry, honey. With Christmas, things are so tight right now. We wouldn't be able to help until I get paid again, which is on the 3rd.
That'll be way too late. What if I go back to using my crutches and resell my wheelchair?
Wait a minute.
Adrian, be careful.
Wait a minute.
Adrian? Wow.
Whoa. I wasn't expecting that. Hey, Jeremy, do you think it's another miracle?
I don't think it's for me to say. What do you think?
Wow. Well, you go, girl.
I think, why not? We could all use another miracle or two. to today.
Keep this up and we'll find some way to help the sinner.
I've got an idea. I'll match the reward money and give it in your name and in yours, Adrian.
Oh, that's very generous, Mr. Delmonico, and it's a great idea.
Boy, I'm feeling really hungry, like right now for milk and cookies.
What?
No, not really. But a good chicken fried steak. Now that would be good. Hey, the diner's open just down the way. Let's all go. Let's all go.
Yes.
Yes, let's all go. My treat.
Very good.
What'd she say?
Don't you want to go with?
Yeah, I do, but I just don't have a present for you now.
You kidding? I've been praying for this moment to happen ever since you started working here.
You have?
Well, I could tell you're someone really special, but I knew without Jesus in the middle, we'd never have the right kind of relationship. Now, that barrier is gone.
Let's get going. We're waiting for you.
Go ahead, Santa. Tell the others we'll be right along.
Okay. Yeah, well, you guys hurry up because we want to know what happened here tonight because it was pretty cool.
Hey, Santa.
Yeah.
Thanks.
For what?
For the girl in my dreams. This is going to be the best Christmas